Hello everyone. Thanks for watching this video. We are going to cover EWM two topics that, that are put away strategy and stock removal strategy. You can see there are two picture. There are two operators. They are working on forklift. In first part of picture, you can see the operator is putting the material in the bin. That bin is nothing but the destination bin where we are putting the material. This is a part of inbound process wherein we receive the material against the purchase order. We receive ASN, advance shipping notification. Based on that, we are going to create the inbound delivery. And once we have the inbound delivery, we will be creating the warehouse task. And that warehouse task will be the reference for the operator wherein they can find the destination bin where they have to put the material. So let me go in system in detail and show you exactly what kind of configuration we need to do for the put away strategy. So this comes under in good receipt process. So you can see this is SCM extended warehouse management. Within this, we have extended warehouse management and we have good receipt process. That means it's the inbound process. And in this inbound process, you are going to define the strategy. First thing that you should know what is the storage type. Storage type is the physical place wherein we are storing the material. It can be open place, it can be a pallet, it can be a high rack as per the warehouse. So once you know the storage type that has defined as a part of master data in this section, then we are coming into the strategies wherein you need to define the storage type search sequence. That means, you know, you have different type of storage types. And in first things, what we need to do, we need to define the storage type search sequence for put away. You can see 0020 is the storage type search sequence that has been created for the warehouse 0001. And for this storage type search sequence, we need to assign the storage types. It can be one-to-one or one-to-many assignment. So here 0020 is a storage type search sequence, and for this they have assigned 0020 is the storage type where we are going to store our material. Once we have defined this one, then we need to use the put away control indicator. We have to define the put away control indicator. So in this example, we will see that this is the entry that has created for the warehouse 0001. The put away control indicator is 0020 that we are going to use for storage type 0020 description they have given like this. So that this put away control indicator we are going to assign to the product master. Okay, based on the product master data, system will understand that what is the put away control indicator. Once we defined and use in a product master, then we have to specify storage type search sequence for put away. In this, you are going to define the search sequence. So this is the entry wherein for the warehouse 0001, we have put away control indicator 0020, and for that we have defined the storage type search sequence. This is the storage type search sequence 0020. Okay, so this is the configuration that is going to determine the destination bin, because with the product master information, that is the put away control indicator, we are reached to this search sequence. And once we know the storage type that has assigned to this storage type search sequence, we can store the material in one of the available bin within that storage type as per the put away rule. Now let's go back to understand the stock removal strategy. Here In this picture, we can see the operator is removing the material from the bin and putting into the forklift container. Okay, that means there is some demand from the customer, and for that demand, we have a sales order. Based on the sales order, outbound delivery is created, and for that outbound delivery, we have the warehouse task, and operator is looking into that outbound delivery warehouse task to find out the source storage bin. Correct? Now we are talking about the outbound process. That means we are talking about the stock removal strategies. And for the stock removal strategy, we need to determine the source bin. Okay. So how the system will determine the source bin? To understand this determination, we need to go back again in a configuration, and that configuration you can find just below to good receipt process, that is in good issue process. In this good issue process, there is a strategy for the stock removal. For this, we need to define first of all what is your stock removal rule. The stock removal rule can be FIFO or LIFO, first in first out, or last in last out. You can find out first in first out. We have defined the field. This is the key field. With that, we are going to determine whether it is first in first out. Okay, for example, this is the good receipt date, and once we know the good receipt date and when we have received the material, we can find out the material, which material has first received in the warehouse, and that material we have to issue to the customer. That comes in the stock removal rule. Once we have defined the stock removal rule, you have to specify storage type search sequence. Now, in the storage type search sequence, for example, warehouse 001 pick, and this is the stock removal search sequence. And you can see this is the search sequence name is pick, PICK, and it has assigned to the storage type, that is the multiple storage type. You can assign one storage type or you can assign the multiple storage type. What will happen? First, priority goes to 0050 storage type. System will check whether the stock is available there. If not, then it will go next and next, so on. Now you understood storage type search sequence, and then we need to define the stock removal control indicator. This is important. This stock removal control indicator we are going to define in the product master. Okay, so when we know which product we are going to deliver to the customer, correct, from the product, this removal control indicators, okay, system will know what is the stock removal control indicator from the product, because we are assigning this control indicator to the product. And then finally, we need to determine the storage type search sequence for the stock removal. Now, this is important. Here you can see this is the warehouse, and we have the other parameters. For example, you can use the stock removal control indicator. You can use the warehouse process types, and there are stock types. There are some other products categories, and there is some hazard material indicators also there. Depends on the type of the material. In combination, we can define the determination of storage type search sequence. And finally, it has assigned to the storage type search sequence and the stock removal rule. So with this configuration, operator will refer to the warehouse task. In the warehouse task, he can find out the source storage bin, and from there, he can pick the material and keep it into the container. So this is the information about the put away and stock removal strategy. Hope you find this information is useful. If you want to know more about this, you can contact to this WhatsApp number 9689158715. Thanks.